I've found over the years, based off of conversations I've had with contractors and seeing existing sprinkler systems, that I would comfortably say that 90% of the landscapers, not just in Spokane, but nationwide, have no idea what they're doing when it comes to sprinklers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a detriment to our industry, because homeowners, think about this, guys. Homeowners just naturally assume that if you're a landscaper, you know sprinklers.
You should. If you're a landscaper.
What's that?
You should know sprinklers if you're a landscaper.
You should know, and it shouldn't. It should be a. It shouldn't even be a conversation. The problem that I'm seeing is it needs to be a conversation for homeowners, and the landscapers need to know it. The problem is it's just learning it, right? It's not sexy. It's not a paver patio. It's not a water feature. So most of your landscapers are literally like, it's not fun. They hate, and I'll tell you this, they hate putting them in. It's the least fun thing to do. It's the most non-visual thing in the entire landscape itself. But it's single-handedly the most important part of a landscape, because without the water, you're going to get dry spots. You're going to have unhappy customers, and you look like an idiot. And after that, it's too late. The client's already spent the money, and now they call people up to fix it, and it's very difficult to fix it. And so so anyway, all that being said, I think I want to shoot a series of videos just on installing sprinklers. And I think maybe this fall or winter, I would like to do a class in Spokane on installing sprinklers. And you know what's really cool is you can get so deep into it. I remember this, like the only thing I got out of college. Literally, I went I got a 2-year degree in horticulture and landscape design at the community college. Didn't really learn anything there that was helpful except for irrigation. I mean, that I learned a lot on. And it's actually fascinating to me because, you know, when you look at the books for these heads, it gives you, precipitation rate, and it gives you all this information. And then if you look at each zone of where you live in the country, if I remember correctly, back at college, it'll tell you like what the precipitation rate needs to be in the area that you live. And you can do some calculations, and that would actually tell you how long each zone needs to water for the right amount of precipitation rate for the zone that you live in. I'm not going to get into that, right? That's probably going to be overwhelming for most guys. One of my friends in the industry who's since sold his company, I was talking to him about it one day, and he goes, let me tell you, here's how you figure out how long to water. You take a tuna can, you stick it in the middle of your yard, and when that tuna can's full, that's how long you should be watering. I was like, all right, that's fair, because you're putting in 2 inches of water, right? Over the amount of time. And so there are some ways to we'll say dumb it down, but I do feel like it is a massive weakness in our industry. It helps me sell my services because I can basically say there's just not very many guys that know how to do it. And my homeowners are always like, really? Like, yeah, they just don't know how to do it.
Well, this is a sales guy.
I mean, and I've seen it. Like, one of the places I worked for a year, you would think that they would have known what they were doing with sprinklers. And when we got there, they had what they called, they called it the ring of death. And what they would do is they'd hook a 1-inch line up to their manifold, and it'd be about 30 feet long. And they would literally put 6 heads on. And if there was enough pressure, they'd add a 7th, and they'd keep adding heads until they didn't have enough pressure. Not joking. And that's not the only company that I've seen that does that.
I can name a few bad ones. I mean, we're when I purchased Marco's sprinklers, we get a lot of sprinkler calls, obviously. So we're darn good at sprinklers, but I'd say 40% of our sprinkler business is fixing bad sprinkler work by other people. And I'm not exaggerating when I say 40%.
And Jeff, I all I can say is I trust that you're good, and I hope, because I've gone out to sprinkler jobs where my clients have said, I've called sprinkler repair guys and they couldn't fix this. And then I'm like 15 minutes in and I'm like, well, here's your problem. It had nothing, you know, it's crazy. But I think if you have an understanding of how a system should go in, I think it helps you with the diagnostics of figuring out what's wrong.
That's how I learned.
Right. So anyway, I always have a little tidbit. I did not plan that part of today, but I do think it's important in this whole entire industry to learn how to install sprinklers. I have guys that are in the software around the country. They don't understand sprinklers, so they just tell their clients they don't put them in. And so the clients are having to hand water.
Or they just hire somebody to do it. They just hire somebody to come in and put in the sprinkler system, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, one of the guys that I have that's in the software, he said where they live, not very many people have sprinkler systems. So they're used to not having one. But what a fantastic opportunity. If you just understood sprinklers, you could change the community's mindset, you know, to put in water, at least dripping your plants.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that was fun. And I gotta be honest with you, I love designing outdoor living spaces. I do. I love it. I've always loved it, but I'm enjoying teaching you guys more. Honestly, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying, man, Josh. Cole said, I talked to Cole last week and he said basically the same thing that you did. They're charging more than they ever have. He's making more money than he ever has. And I mean, that actually gets me more excited than selling a $200,000-$300,000 job. So I really do enjoy it. Just even you guys, like I always say, you guys are my competition, but if we can all become better, then we, you know, it's a level playing field when we're bidding against each other. Then it's just, you know, good old boy club bidding, and, you know, may the best sales guy win at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we're in the project budgets page, right? And we'll go to the current project that we're working on. So we got this budget right here. All right. So I'm just going to go through it like you guys have never seen it. And, you know, you at a glance, you know, it basically tells you what you're doing on the project. Up here, it tells you how many days are budgeted, which it says 0. So I don't understand why.
It's because it's not scheduled.
I just figured that out,
Oh,
Gregory.
all right.
I figured that one out. Should we go scheduler or does it matter? No, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. It will tell you how many days are budgeted as long as you put it on the calendar. Got it? Okay. So I always, and this is going to help you guys are already making, like Josh, you're already making more money than you ever have, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wouldn't it be fun to make more money?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We ask the tough questions here.
no, that's not a dumb question, Gregory.
No, I said tough questions.
Oh, that's a great
Would you guys
question.
like to make more money?
Well, everybody wants to make more money, but you can't, like, it's like, you know, the definition of insanity. You know, people do the same thing over and over and expect different results. So this right here, this and change orders, I am convinced will increase your bottom line immeasurably. And it's really your guys' responsibility to teach your guys to plan out in the field. And I don't care if I always tell you guys, don't do unbilled hours, but unbilled hours are great if you're using them to educate your guys to make more money. Okay. So it could be something where you guys like Joshua, I'm going to use you an example. All right. Because you have more than one crew. It would be where your crew leads came in every Friday after work or every Monday before work, and you sat down with them and you helped them plan out their week. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I learned this from Brian Tracy, and he basically said, I forget the actual numbers, but basically 10 minutes of planning can eliminate almost an hour of production.
Hmm.
What I guess what I'm saying, guys, is it's easy for you as a business owner to tell your guys, hey, I need you to start planning your week out on Fridays or Mondays, and then letting them to be on their own, and they won't do it. But if you're like, okay, guys, for the next 4 weeks, Fridays after work or Mondays before work, we're going to meet without exception, and we're all going to sit down and we're going to plan out our jobs. We're going to think them through for the entire week. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you guys did that with your crews in a positive manner, maybe go buy some donuts or whatever, I know it will increase your production.
Yeah.
And all you do is you look at this page right here and you ask your guys, okay, next week, how much more removal do you have? Dude, we got the removal done. All right, good. Or if you're just starting out a project, right? Like, okay, what are you going to do the first day you're going to get there? Okay, we're going to do removal. Great. So if you're going to do removal, we're going to open it up and we're going to schedule our haul off service, right? So we're going to record that. You see how I did that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we're going to go with our preferred supplier, and we're going to basically,
You don't have any in your.
Oh, I don't have any in my demo account. So you'll put whatever supplier it is, and then you'll put your delivery date. So the job starts on Monday. So we'll put Monday as the delivery date. We got another, who's coming in?
I think we lost Jeff.
I'm here. Sorry. I'm mobile, getting ready to head to the airport.
Okay. No
Oh,
problem.
gotcha. Okay. So you put your delivery date in. All right. Got it, Joshua?
Mm-hmm.
And you hit save. That's it. All right. Now that's all you need to do. So we don't have to record. Well, you should record for budgeting purposes, right? You'll record how much material you're going to haul off. Does that make sense? So you can record that too, just so that it's in your budgets. Make sense?
Okay.
You're not ordering
Okay.
it. You're going to put that in. Okay. So now we're done. Got it. We'll collapse that. All right, guys, what else are you going to do? How long is that going to take? Well, it's only going to take 1.1 days. Okay. What are you going to do on Tuesday? You see how this works? The reason why I'm teaching it this way is years ago, I'm not into football, but I read the story where Vince Lombardi walked into the whatever freaking football team he was
Green Bay Packers.
the Green Bay Packers. On his first day there, you got a bunch of NFL guys sitting around him, and he holds up a football and he says, "Gentlemen, this is a football." And his whole point was, I'm taking you back to the basics. We're going to start all over, and I'm going to take you back. And they went on to be, under his direction, one of the greatest teams, right? So it's just getting back to the basics. And sometimes the basics is what makes you the most money. So you look at your guys and you say, okay, what are we going to do on Tuesday? Well, we're going to, for us, hardscapes go in first. So we're going to do our pavers. Great. Let's go in and let's just have everything in the pavers delivered next Monday. So it's all there. And they're like, yeah, I would agree with that. So you come up here and you hit record all. So select all materials. We'll go to the delivery date for next Monday. Okay. Now it's set it up.
There it is.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Now everything's set up to be delivered on Monday. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna hit save. Now it's gonna take 3.1 days to install the pavers, right? So now between the pavers and the rip out, we're at 4.2 days. So now you're like, okay, once the pavers are in, what's the next thing we're gonna do? Probably irrigation. What'd you guys say?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
So,
nothing in irrigation.
okay, nothing in irrigation. So, but, and the point is, so you would go into irrigation, you'd record everything and, or that's the gravel walkway. And then, and that's it. Like we're on a call and I'm explaining it. And that took what, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Now, okay, so now you've scheduled your week out. And so now you go up to the supplier call sheet. And this is actually kind of cool. Greg just showed me this today. If let's say you guys ordered soil from beds and then soil from lawn, it's going to put them together so they're all in order now. Instead of it being like soil up here and then soil down below, it's going to put them all together so they're in order.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you basically call up Ryan at Gibson's that day, right then, right? You make your guys, okay, now call up and order all your materials. And your guys are like, oh, okay. So they call up Gibson's or whoever you order your crap from. And they basically call up Ryan. We would call up Ryan and say, I need 3 bags of coarse sand. All right. Or 2 bags. Just bring me 2 bags. I think I can make it work, or 2.5, whatever. Right. So you order that, check it off. Okay. And then Ryan says, what else do you need? I need 6 bags of modified paver. All right. I need pave edge restraint. And you just tell him everything that you need and you just keep clicking. And then once he's done, he's done. And for me, I like checking things off so that I don't forget. And then you call up Interstate and you order your gravel and you tell the guy, whoever you order your gravel for, I need that there first thing in the morning. I have to have it there. Or now if you're ordering on Monday, it could be there anytime because you're doing rip out and you don't need it there until Tuesday, but whatever, it's got to be there on Monday. Okay, no problem. If they can't get it there on Monday, what do you guys do? Somebody.
Cancel the project.
I'd pick it up.
No.
Come on.
Picking it up with my dump trailers.
What?
I'm picking it up.
No, you're not. Second guess. What do you do? If
Try another vendor.
What?
Try another vendor.
Yes. And if that vendor can't get it through, what do you do?
Well, I'm not moving the job.
You call another vendor. And if that vendor doesn't do it, you call the first vendor and say, look, I want to buy from you. I have got to have this there by Monday. What do we need to do to get it there? And use some people skills. And at that point, you need to make sure that freaking gravel gets there. And if I can't do it on Monday, but I can get it there first thing Tuesday, great. Then get it there first thing Tuesday, but I have got to have it there.
Yeah.
So then you check that off and you just go through and you check off, right? I don't need to order a blade, but maybe I do. And you ask the guys, how's your blade? Do you have blades in the trailer? Yeah, we've got a couple extra blades. Great. So we'll just check that off. Haul off service, right? You have to order the haul off service. So at that point you can ask your gravel guy, could you bring the gravel in the afternoon? Cause I've got haul off and I want you to haul my stuff off. Do you see how that works?
Yeah.
And that's why you want to do this in advance, because if you call the day before, yeah, you're probably not going to get stuff done. But if you call a week in advance, there's a good chance you're going to get what you want.
Yeah.
And most guys in this industry, they don't trust their guys to order this stuff. It's bewildering to me. Go.
Would you set would you have this meeting, let's say on Monday for the following week then? Is that what you're thinking? And then so that would already be set up.
Yeah. So technically, yes. If you're starting, let's say you're on a job and you're starting a new job next Monday, then you should be ordering all of the last items that you need for the job that you're working on. But yeah, if you can order a week in advance, it gives your suppliers, they're going to respect you more and they're going to bend over backwards than if you're constantly calling them being like, dude, man, I forgot. I need some soil tomorrow. Well, we can't do it. All right. When can you do it? Now you're giving all the power to your vendors. But if you call your vendors up a week in advance and be like, hey, I need soil next, a week from Monday. Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
But you're training your guys how to order this stuff. It's there. It's not rocket science. It's not like they have to go out and figure out the square footages. Now, my guys, they'll double check me because I will usually have too much soil, right? So they might not order all the soil because they don't want to haul it back off, right? So they know they have enough material there and probably then some to pull this project off. So and your guys are going to learn over the next couple of months. Well, Josh is usually a little bit high on soil, so I'm not going to order all the soil because I don't like hauling 4 yards off in my dump trailer. So I'll back off on the soil a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They'll start to learn that. But this is what's going to give you guys your life back. This is the magical part of the software. Okay, so then once you're done, you get everything ordered. You can say remove all checked items. And now the next time I go for the next week, this is empty. And so when we plan out the next week, we know we're going to bring in, let's see, do I have beds with soil in here at all? But whatever, who cares? We're going to bring in, our lawn. So we're going to bring in our lawn. So we're going to say record all. We're going to select, I'm not going to be ready for my sod. So we're only going to bring in the sandy loam. Does that make sense? I'm not ready for the sod yet, right? That's going to be on the last day. So, or you could say order all. You could say select all, and then you could pick, okay, I want my soil delivered on Friday, but I don't want the sod delivered until, the 8th, which is the last day we're there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you hit save. And then you order your beds with rock, right? Okay, I need to order all of this. So you're going to order everything and you're going to say select all materials. But this time you're going to get your sandy loam delivered on the same day that you're getting the sandy loam delivered for your lawn areas. Great. Our weed fabric, we don't need that until we have the sod. So our sod's coming on the 8th. So our weed fabric is going to come on the 4th, and so is our rock. So I got all kinds of crazy dates.
When you're thinking through the project and when you're going to need the materials, and you're just setting the
right.
Day.
Yeah. And I'm just giving you this isn't. I'm just saying there's 2 ways to do this. I could basically just order 1 week in advance. That's fine. So I wouldn't say record all, and I would just get my sandy loam. Or I could say, I know right now with you guys planning wise, you probably shouldn't do it the way I just did it. You should probably just schedule 1 week out so that your guys can understand that.
Yeah.
But what I'm showing you is you can probably start to get some of this stuff on the books, and you can tell, Gibson's, hey, can you just put me on the calendar to deliver sod on such and such day? And then I'll call you the day before just to confirm or whatever. But the further out you can plan, that's great, but you don't want to start planning too far out because of change orders. Right. But at least a week in advance, start planning your weeks out.
That does make sense. It might be helpful even if there is a little indicator or check mark or something next to that. Let's just say pavers, that once you selected everything and you're done with that area, you can just say yes, it's done. So that way you're able to easily see what areas haven't been. You still need attention.
I get what you're saying, and from a guy sitting in the office standpoint, that makes sense. But you have to put yourself out in the field, and if they need gravel, they need gravel, right? So I would almost say that wouldn't work, because let's say you're out in the field, you order gravel, you ordered all your gravel, but my gosh, you're out. You need more gravel. They're going to go in and order more gravel, whether it says it's done or not.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty, right? So if we go to pavers, our gravel's already ordered. We have 0 material remaining. Well, I don't care. I need 10 more yards of gravel. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to, even though I've already maxed it out, I'm still going to order 10 more yards because I need it. And I'm going to have it delivered on the 2nd because I went through it all on Monday, right? Okay, I need more gravel. I'm going to hit save. This is why you want to plan things out, because let's say you're on a job and you start excavating for the patio and you hit a stump and you got to dig that stump out. And now you need an additional 10 yards of gravel to fill that hole. If you're constantly calling your vendors a day in advance, they're going to get annoyed with you and they're not going to want to help you out. But if you're constantly calling your vendors a week in advance, and then all of a sudden you call them up and you're like, dude, I am screwed. I have to have gravel tomorrow. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going to squeeze it in because you're one of the guys that gives them a week in advance normally.
Right. Yeah.
But now it's showing that we've over ordered 10 yards. This is the second thing. I'm glad you brought that up, Joshua, because this is the second thing that's really cool. I ordered sandy loam, sorry, not gravel, but anyway, I ordered an additional 10 yards of sandy loam because I needed it, right? And so you or your office person or whoever's in charge, in this case, like, well, let's talk about Melissa. Melissa's going to be great about this. She's going to be able to go through this and constantly look. And I saw it on the job site. I mean, I was talking to Cole and Melissa's like, did you write a change order for that yet? And he was like, no. Now Melissa can look at this and be like, Cole, you went 10 yards over. What's going on? Oh yeah, yeah, there was this thing. She's okay. Well, can you please write the change order now? Yes, I'll do it at lunch. Right. And then he writes the change. Dude, I'm sorry, Melissa, I'm using you guys because I'm excited about Cole. I was at Cole's job site yesterday and Melissa and I were hammering him. I felt bad for him, or 2 days ago, because she was asking him, why haven't you done in a change order? And then I went back to his job site 3 hours later with my tablet. And I'm like, dude, let me show you how freaking easy this is. And I'm like, you got to call Greg or me. And he's like, I feel bad. I'm like, I don't. I'm telling you, call. So all of a sudden I get a phone call at 7 o'clock that night. And I'm like, oh crap, I better answer this or he's never going to do it again. But I was at a function. So I called him back later and he was like, Kelly, this is music to my ears. He goes, I wrote the change order. I sent it to the client and he's already approved it. And this is the way, you guys, this is the magical part of the software. This is what's going to get you like more time with your families, because your guys are starting to order their own materials. And it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It literally is telling them how much they have to order. Now, are they going to mess up a little bit? Yeah, they might go in and just, it's like everybody trying something new. It might cost you a little bit of money at first because they're going to just order all the gravel and they're going to be like, dude, we had like 3 yards of gravel left over. Well, okay, soak it up somewhere, or all right, I'll bring the dump trailer by and you can dump it in there, or okay, we'll spend the $200 and just have site one come and pick it up. We don't have time. Just get rid of it. All right, fine. It'll cost you a little bit of money, but as long as your production is getting more efficient, a couple $100 isn't going to hurt. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to break you.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Makes sense.
Now we added, this is really cool. I just started a job on Monday. And my guys let me know that I forgot several items on the bid. And it's because it was a deck and I did the bid last November and we've since made things a lot simpler to use, but I forgot some of the beams on the deck. What a dumbass. But so now we have this button right here. Now you have the ability to add extra material that was forgotten on a bid, right? So let's say here, I got the beds with the rock and for some reason I was supposed to include turf builder, right? And I forgot turf builder in one section. So I can just go in, I can add turf builder. I ordered 10 yards. I can save it. And now the turf builder shows up as unplanned.
Okay.
So it's now in the budget, but it's going to show up in your reporting when that comes out as this is an overage and it was unplanned and you forgot it.
Accountability built in.
Yep.
I like it.
And again, like Joshua or Melissa, you guys are in the office. If you were to check this stuff every day, I would take you guys 10 minutes to check. I mean, Melissa would take her 5 minutes because her husband, she only has one job going at a time. So she can literally just bust through this thing. And anytime she sees a warning sign, she can call up Cole. Why are you 10 yards over? Let's write a change order. And it's not her being bad. It's everybody working as a team to keep everybody accountable so that nothing falls through the cracks. Same thing with you, Joshua. Somebody in your company should be going through this maybe on a daily basis and being like, okay, we went over budget. We got to write a change order.
Yeah. That's also important when you have that unplanned. Often that means you forgot it on the proposal, but that feedback loop has to happen there as well. So if you've got somebody else doing your proposals, they've got to know that. They got to know that that's something happened that's unplanned. Let's update our template. Let's make a change somewhere, whatever it is.
Now, I just had something hit me in the Okay, Greg, I have a question. We have already said that this stuff is ordered, right?
Yeah.
But let's say it hasn't been delivered yet. And this is a scenario that kind of happened to Cole. So I'm trying to figure out how this is going to work out. So let's say I've already ordered my lava rock. I can't believe I have that in here. I've ordered my lava rock and I've ordered the sandy loam. But the sandy loam's been delivered. The lava rock hasn't been delivered yet. And the client called me up and said, hey, I've decided I don't want lava rock. I want to do bark. So I go and create a change order and I have to delete this section and make a new one.
Okay.
What does that do for to my budgets?
That's a good question. I'll have to take a look at. We're not deleting. So if you delete beds with rock and you add beds with bark, it's not deleting the beds with rock. We still manage all of that. I honestly, I don't have the answer. I'll have to take a look.
I haven't actually thought that one through. So
yeah, me either.
But next week I'll go over that. Like there's a specific way you have to do change orders, and that's something I went over with Cole too, because this happened to him. The client bought bark, right? And then the client called him up and said, oh, I don't want to do bark. I want to do basalt chip. And so when you go do the change order, the way I explained it to him is like, if you buy pants at Nordstrom and they don't fit, you got to take those pants back and they return the full pants, right? They don't just give you a credit, right? They return the pants, purchase the new ones. And if your new ones are more money, then you'll pay the difference. But they have to return the old pants first and charge the new pants. So it's the same way in the software, right? So if you have a whole section, but you've already installed the sandy loam, but the sandy loam is in this section, if you wrote the change order, you're basically going to delete and credit this whole section and then add this whole section back in for the change order.
Okay.
And then it will just tell the customer the difference.
Right. When you credit one section and add a new section, they'll see that's all taking place, and then the difference will just show. So what they'll either owe or they'll receive a credit, but depending on what took place.
Right.
but it all happens in the software. So you don't have to figure that out. Figuring
But
out
my
the
point
difference
is,
between the two would be hard.
you're not going to just get rid of bark. You're going to have to delete that whole section and then recreate the section with the new material. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You got, the other cool thing is, so we just started that job on Monday, and we brought out paver samples to the client because she lives in Coeur d'Alene. She didn't want to drive into Spokane, and we brought out a whole slew of decking samples so that she could choose her decking and her pavers. And we did it on actually, it wasn't Monday, it was Tuesday because nobody worked on Monday. So it was Tuesday. And so we knew that she wanted Mega Arbel, but she just didn't know what color she wanted. She just had the house painted. So we brought out all the colors and set them up against the house, and she chose her paver. At that point, I opened up my tablet, I went to her project, and I opened up the pavers. I went down into the notes, and I just wrote Mega Arbel, and she chose Rainier color. And that's it. You click out of there, and that is now saved. And so now your guys, when they go to order the pavers, they don't have to remember, oh, what color did she want? Oh, is it? I don't remember. It's right here. Mega Arbel Rainier color.
Okay.
And it's silly things like this that make your company just a smooth running engine.
Yeah, all those little communication pieces need to be in the right place, so that way it's efficient and
Right.
But most of that communication gets solved with planning, right? If
Yeah.
you're thinking ahead, the communication is easier.
I mean, Melissa, you and Cole, you guys go on your coffee dates or whatever. I mean, you guys could on Friday nights or Monday mornings literally just sit down. And I think honestly, I could see that, like, planning, even for me, like back when I was in the field, it was torture. And I could probably see that it could be torture for Cole, just the kind of guy he is, right? He's a creative, but I think if you were to sit down with him, or even Joshua, you and your guys, most of these guys out in the field, right? We didn't do well in school. I know I didn't. I wasn't a very good planner, but that's why I've built the software the way I did. I built it for guys like us who aren't very good at planning. And so it's just a quick, like, you know, if you have somebody that's very good at planning, like, what are you doing Monday? You know, and I'll tell you guys something, you know what made me really change the way I did things. My wife was pregnant with our first child, and I was all over the board. I was so unorganized, and she started telling me, Kelly, you need to schedule things and stick to the schedule. And I was like, okay. And so I remember we had a water feature that I was building for a gal, and I had already excavated and I put in the liner, and everything was ready to go, and I had mud ordered for the next day. Concrete, because we put concrete over our liners. And my wife ended up in the hospital that night with something going on with the pregnancy. And so we were in the hospital until 3:00 in the morning. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I gotta wake up in the morning and cancel the mud. And she's like, no, you are not canceling the mud. You are going to go to work, and you're going to go in and you're going to put the freaking concrete in the pond. You stick to your schedule, Kelly. And I was like, oh, are you serious? Just do it. If that's all you do tomorrow, you've already scheduled it. Stop canceling. Make the schedule happen. And so we went home. I got to sleep at 4 a.m. I woke up at 6:30. I went to the job site, and my guys and I put the mud in. And by the time the mud was in, I was fully awake, and we put in a whole day, and I went to bed early that day. That was a humongous aha moment for me. Something that simple. And it took my wife saying, you schedule your stuff out, and you make sure that you do everything that you can do so that the schedule doesn't change. And that's what you need to tell your guys. You just, you do what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. It takes work to change the schedule.
It does. You know,
but it also becomes a culture. If you are constantly making changes on the schedule, that becomes a culture. If you know that the schedule is the schedule and you got to do everything you can to get it to stick to it, that also becomes a culture.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin will call me up and he'll be like, dude, we're doing plants next Thursday. I'm like, I can't do plants next Thursday. He's like, tough crap. We're doing plants next Thursday. I got plants coming. So I got two choices. I can cancel my appointment, or I can call Joey and pay him $500 to go place plants, because I'm not changing the schedule. So, and that's our culture. Like, we're very production oriented. If you got plants coming, I got to be there. Or I need, and then like if Kevin gives me a week in advance and he's like, dude, then draw them out. So I will sit in my office and I will draw in where all the plants go, and I'll give them the design. And that way I don't have to be there on Thursday, because I simply can't be there. Well, we can't stop. So I just take an hour and I draw in where everything goes. And then my guys have done enough planting plans where they'll tweak it, and I don't have to draw in like all the 1 gallons. They know how to place those. So I just draw in where all the majority of the stuff goes. And then the client will be out there and say, I don't really know if I like that there. And they can make a couple of changes. But for the most part, what I drew is going to stick.
Yeah.
When you know how much you're losing every day, every time the schedule changes, it makes it a lot easier to say, we're not going to change the schedule. We're going to figure a way. So when you look at the profit gene, you say every day we're making this much, every hour we have to make this much. You know what you're doing when you say the schedule is going to change. Sometimes it may have to, but at least you understand the consequences.
So who's on board to start planning either this Friday or next Monday for the following week? Who's on board?
I'm on board.
I am, but I'm only half the equation.
I am out of town on Monday, so it ain't happening next week, but very soon.
That's fair. I'm going to stop by a project today and tell a certain somebody that he's got to start planning out with you on Mondays. So I like Cole a lot. Like,
me too.
It's good.
I hope so.
So, yeah, I think the planning, you guys, I'm telling you, that was a big deal for me when Brian Tracy, I read 10 minutes of planning saves like an hour of production. It's like, man, it really does. And it doesn't, you can see how we built this. Greg and I literally called up Kevin and said, how do you guys operate? What do we do that makes us so efficient? And he sat down with Greg and I and said, the guys plan their days out on Mondays. They literally go in and they're like, okay, I need this on this day, this on this day, this on this day, this on this day. They call all the suppliers. They have everything set up. And then it literally takes them no time at all. And then they're off and running.
Yeah. Is there a way to see that on the calendar, on the smart calendar, where they're linked when you plan your delivery dates for Monday? You can go to the smart calendar on that project and see, oh, this is the stuff coming Monday.
You can't see it on the calendar. You can always go back to the supplier call sheet and
Okay.
show checked items and see when things are coming.
Okay.
Great idea.
Oh, I get what you're saying. So you come here and you can say, show remove. Oh, and this will show everything that you've already ordered.
Yeah.
I think it would be much easier to see it on the calendar versus that call sheet showing the dates, because I'm assuming that, those dates wouldn't be in order because it'd be in the order of the materials, versus if you're seeing it on the calendar, you would be able to see exactly the days that they're coming in.
And I would argue with all you guys, once your crews get efficient at ordering their own materials, the last thing I want to look at or even pay attention to is what my guys have ordered. Like, I don't need to see it, don't want to see it, don't care to see it. They've ordered the stuff and they have a job, and that is to get the job done on time. And I'm not saying that we won't do it. I'm saying this all sounds good when you're in the office, but Joshua, you got to get to the point where all you have to think about is sales.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that, but my point is though, is even for the guys though, like if they're able to click on the smart calendar as well and just see their projects that are going on, and for their own management, they can see for next week, like what did I do again what did I plan out for next week? And they can just go to the calendar and see, oh, Monday,
that's
concrete's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Kelly, thanks for showing all that though. That was really helpful to see. And especially the part of working with the guys on Monday and scheduling for next week. That's something that we're going to need to practice and get used to doing. And I'm excited to walk through the guys through this part of it.
I don't think we could have made it any simpler. And it's just a matter of using it. And honestly, adding that button of add extra material is honestly a game changer, because I forget crap all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now the guys can put it in. Well, I ordered this even though it wasn't on the bid. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, I think if you commit to this, Joshua, for the next 3 to 4 weeks, it will dramatically change your life and your bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
But don't forget, just the act of having your guys plan, just having them think through the job every week is a big deal, right? Because they're thinking through the problems. Most people don't spend a little bit of time just thinking through what they're going to be doing over the next week. And so it's always reactive. This is proactive, and it changes things a lot.
Yeah.